Children, full of energy, full of life, full of love, each completely unique, a true original. But these children are missing something that most of us take for granted. These children need a family where they feel safe, where they feel cared for, where they feel loved. Because these children are part of the foster care system in Miami-Dade County, and what they need more than anything is you.
For the child to become a foster child, it's something that was wrong with a relative or his or her parents. A child becomes a foster child, not at any fault of the child, it's because of the fault of the people who are taking care of the child, the parents. Something's gone wrong in their lives, whether it's be abuse between the parents, abuse of the child, drug abuse. Sometimes kids are labeled as foster kids, and it's unfortunate that they're labeled that, because a foster child just means a child without a family. It's not what's wrong with the child, it's what's wrong with everybody else.
These are wonderful children. They've come to us through no fault of their own because their parents either abused them, neglected them, or abandoned them. We make sure that each case and each child is addressed on a case-by-case basis so that we can ascertain what the needs are of that family and how we can best develop the strategies that we have available to make sure that we can make that family whole, if that's possible, and if not, that we can facilitate an adoption process for those children so that they can have permanent families.
The Guardian Ad Litem program is a statewide mandate that says that whenever there's a case of abandonment, abuse, or neglect, those children should be represented by somebody in court during the court proceedings. The guardians are objective, they are volunteers for the most part, and they are only looking out for the best interests of children.
In this room is where cases actually get adjudicated. Once there's a determination that you have to remove a child or that the family needs court-ordered supervision, that family would come to a courtroom like this, and the child would be brought to the courtroom by a PI, and assorted family members would be here. The parents would be notified of the shelter hearing. Lawyers get appointed, the guardian ad litem is here. Any possible placement options will have to come at that shelter hearing for review by the judge, and then as the case proceeds through the system, it'll be done in a courtroom like this.
It's hard not being adopted because I always wanted to have the family that has a mom and a dad so I can celebrate Father's Day and Mother's Day. I would like to have grandma and grandpa, and I hope that someday that you could call and have me be adopted, because I've been waiting a long time. So, bye.
More than 510,000 children are in foster care across the United States, removed from their homes due to abuse, neglect, or other tragic circumstances. Here in Miami-Dade and Monroe, there are more than 4,500 children in the foster care system. In the last year, an average of 38 children entered our foster care system every week, almost 6 children every day. On average, children in foster care spend between 13 and 28 months waiting for reunification or adoption. That's 1 to 2 birthdays they spend in care. Right now, there are only 265 licensed foster homes in our community, and we are in desperate need for more. Since 2005, more than 2,500 children have found permanent adoptive families, and currently, there are 204 children waiting for a permanent family through adoption.
Well, we have 3 beautiful children. Isabella Hope, who's 4.5, soon to be 5 in November. Xavier Thomas Peace, who's 3.5, and will be 4 on December 31st. And Daniela Joy, who's going to be 3 on February 16th. Whew, got that one right.
To me, fostering is like the ability to be able to do something that is not about ourselves. It's a selfless act to really be able to provide a home for a child who needs someone desperately to give them a safe and loving and nurturing environment. I really believe it's an act of kindness, but one that you receive so much more than you would ever be able to get if you just went out and searched, for fulfillment and love in life. I mean, it really is an amazing role to be able to play, and it's a privilege. It's a privilege.
It's just one life that you need to touch. It's just one. And everyone can touch a life.
Very well said.
He was special. For some reason, he just blended in. I worked with the mom in every effort to see if she could be reunified back with him. And I've done everything in terms of, okay, he's gonna go back. At the same token, we still show him the love and the care. And he was just special, and everyone in my family just knew, like, are you gonna keep him? Are you gonna keep him? And I was like, no, he'll be reunified back with his mom. But in reality, it turned out last year, April, we were in Tallahassee at the legislative committee, and I got the text message that, mom just signed over her rights and he was up for adoption. And I pretty much shouted with joy while one of the senators was speaking, and they were like, what's going on? What's going on? So anyway, I stopped the senator from talking, which I was, very apologetic about it. But it just felt so good that, wow, I really do love this little man, and he's special. And, he blended in with the family.
It's good to have another man. I mean, he likes football, he likes sports, so, I'm really loving that. He'll sit down and watch the game with me, or he'll say the Miami Heat, Miami Heat. He's a man's man.
Well, we started over 20 years ago now, and just decided that we needed to help. So we took the classes, my husband and I, and became foster parents. Over 18 years, we fostered almost 300 children. Out of the 300 children, we adopted 3 girls, which was never our intention. Catherine actually was our first placement. She was a very difficult child. She was 14 months old. And we didn't see a really bright future for her if she stayed in the system that existed back then 24 years ago. So we decided no, that she was going to stay with us and we would give her a good home. We continued to foster, and 5 years later, Deborah came to our home. She was 9 days old when she came. She was a beautiful little African-American girl.
I actually spent a lot of years in the school explaining to people why is it that every time they saw me there was a new baby with me. Because I thought this was really normal and this was just how my life was, and everyone's like, no, not really. There weren't, always new kids coming in and out of their house, but it was a lot of fun and it was a great experience, and so I loved every minute of it.
Watch, that whole bag's gonna go in.
No, it's a small opening. We have,
ready? That's plenty, guys. Oh my gosh, you guys are chocoholics. Molly came as a preemie. Molly only weighed 1 pound and 13 ounces when she was born. Her parents never showed up for her. Her birth name was Miracle, which we did change to Molly, but she has been a miracle. She was not to walk. She had no potential for talking. She probably was going to be tube fed for the rest of her life. And as you've seen today, she's 14, she's taller than her mom, and is exactly that. She is a miracle. If we believe that these children deserve, because they didn't do anything to be put in the system, they deserve everything that our birth children have, and they deserve more. So we've continued on that because we believe we can make a difference. And we don't have to make a difference in numbers. It doesn't have to mean that I find homes for 600 children or that I change the lives of 1,000 children. It means that I can make a difference in one child's life, and I may never see that difference. I may never know that difference, but I know by my faith in what I'm doing that that difference is going to be made.
About 20 years ago, my husband and I decided that we wanted to start a family, and we found out that we weren't able to get pregnant. And when the doctor said that he wanted to start infertility drugs, we were going to have to refinance our home. We waited 2 years after we got our license to adopt, and we didn't get any children in our home. And finally, my mentor said to me, you need to foster to adopt. This way, if you're fostering a child and that child becomes available for adoption, there's a very good chance that you could adopt that child. And it wasn't really what we wanted to do, but I was so desperate for a child that we were willing to try anything. So we did get our license to become foster parents, and thank goodness that we did, because through fostering, we met both of our children that we have adopted. And if I didn't become a foster parent, I would have never met my children, and I just can't imagine my life without my children. They're my everything. A few years after we became foster parents, we took the training to become medical foster parents, and my husband and I currently only foster children with chronic medical conditions. And that has taken fostering for us one step further, because not only are we caring for children, we're caring for children with medical issues, and it's amazing bringing these sick children into our homes and watching them get well. You know, and I like fixing things, and we're able to fix these children, and it's just a wonderful feeling.
Don't give her a hard time. You're bad.
Desi was our first medical foster child almost 8 years ago, and when he first came in our home, we had no intentions of adopting him. We thought that he was going to go back with his biological mother, who was very young at the time. Well, she decided that she couldn't take care of him, that his needs were too great for her to take care of because she was so young and his needs were so great. So she surrendered her rights, and she called us and she said, we want you to adopt him because we know that you love him. He doesn't speak verbally, but he speaks to us vocally. He speaks to us with his eyes and his smile, and his face lights up when he sees me, and my face lights up when I see him, and I couldn't imagine my life without him. I love him so much.
In 2012, more than 23,000 American children aged out of the foster care system after turning 18. Of those children, less than 3% will go on to earn a college degree. Only half will have full-time employment by age 24. 1 in 5 will become homeless. 1 out of 4 will experience some form of post-traumatic stress disorder, twice the rate of United States war veterans. And 71% of young women who age out of the system at 18 will be pregnant by age 21, potentially beginning the cycle for a whole new generation of children in foster care. But there are hopeful stories.
How I came here? Well, that's a long story. My stepfather, he used to smuggle people and drugs into the United States, and I was helping him. One day that I was crossing the border with him, I got caught by immigration with a couple of drugs and a whole bunch of people. And I was detained, and I was detained for over 3 months until my stepfather, he found some people here in Miami and pretty much told them to lie and tell those people that he was my uncle. Once they released me from INS, from immigration, they sent me here to Miami with my so-believed uncle. He took a look at me, and I stayed over his house for like a week, and then he pretty much kicked me on the streets. I was right here in Overtown, all by myself, you know, doing what I have to do, breaking into cars, and so I could find something to eat. I tried to commit suicide many times, and there was a cab driver once before I was gonna jump out of the bridge here in the Causeway. I was a little kid, and I didn't know no better. And this guy, he just put it to the side, and he asked me, well, what you doing, son? What's the matter? I was like, I just hate everything. And you know, once again, like, no, I haven't eaten and blah, and all this stuff. He gave me $20. So he just gave me the $20 and he left. He also changed my life. Even now, there's times that I wish that I had like somebody that I can be like, hey, I need help with this, you know? Not financially, my thing is just mental things, you know, everything that I went through. They call it PTSD, I guess. Not only warriors get PTSD, but kids in foster care do. Just by adopting somebody, the person that you adopt can have somebody that they can talk to. And either, you know, call them mom or dad. Not even mom or dad, whatever they want to call them. Just have somebody, right? Knowing that they have somebody next to them.
My first time was when I was 8 years old, and I think I stayed in my first foster home for like about 3 months. It's really hard for someone to go from being with the only people that they knew their whole lives to being with strangers. You may not always get along with those strangers, so there is a lot of obstacles with new people. You're living with new people and you don't really know them and you have to adapt to them all over again. I had 2 attempts on adoption, and I think by then I was just really tired of family looking, if you want to say. The system's goal is to get you with a permanent family. They don't want you bouncing around. I think it's a great idea, but I really like my first family. And so I think it was kind of forced for me to get adopted, and I didn't really want that. I went through 2 failed adoptions, and I just felt like after that, I didn't want to go through adoptions anymore. So I was placed on, they took adoption off of my case and just put me in regular foster home, and that's where I was until this past year.
I always say I must have been a foster child in a past life, because the minute I understood the concept, I knew I would one day get involved. Statistically, these kids in foster care become a burden on society, and it's not because they're bad kids. They're amazing kids. I've met so many of them, and I just can't believe how special they are. And I believe a lot of it is because of what they went through. And because of what they went through, when you come in their life, whether you're a guardian ad litem or a mentor or a foster parent or adoptive parent, what surprised me is the level of appreciation they have. They get it. They get that it's not a given that there's people in their lives that are going to be in your life that love you and care for you and not abuse you. They get it more than anyone.
When I first met Debbie, who was my mentor, yes, I had a plan to go to college, and I did want to make something of myself, because I've always knew that if I want to be ahead in life, I have to go to school, I have to study hard, and I have to make a career. But Debbie really made that happen for me. She made everything happen for me. She really pushed me to get the grades that I needed to get in order to get into the college that I wanted to get into. You need that adult experience, you know? You need someone that has been through it, and you need someone to tell you that this is what's going to happen if you do this. You just need that guidance in your life sometimes.
I think Mary saw that there's someone in her world that all of a sudden came in her world that's not paid to be in her world, that just cares. That's just, Mary, how are you doing? How's it going? You know, how'd you do on your test? Sometimes it's as little as just nowadays a text or a phone call. Just, you know, I heard there was a show. How did it go? And it's just giving that person the feeling that they matter, that they care, that they're not alone. And that's everything.
You need that love from your mentor. You need to know that you're cared for, and as well from your foster parent as well. So you can do either, and it could help. It helped me.
When I think about my mentorship with Mary, what makes me really feel really amazing is that you feel in your heart that you made a difference. Besides, I met an incredible girl that I hope to one day help her plan her wedding and be in her life forever and help her plan her baby shower. I just know I made a difference. Like, I know I changed the trajectory of her life. I helped to do that. And that's an amazing feeling.
Benjamin interview, take 1.
And when you close it, watch your fingers.
Chanel interview, take 1.
Michael Travis, take 1.
Dominic interview, take 1.
Douglas interview, take 2. Akila interview, take 1.
The Children's Trust Miami Heart Gallery is a joint effort with Our Kids of Miami-Dade Monroe that offers adoptive parents a one-of-a-kind look at children available for adoption.
I like to listen to R&B, like soul type music, like Charlie Wilson especially. I love his music a lot.
Go out with the family.
I like to go bike riding for fun.
Yeah, with the family?
Yep. Oh yeah, sometimes bike ride by myself. That's kind of fun too.
I want to be a football player, and if a football player don't work out, I want to be a baseball player, and if a baseball player don't work out, I want to be a soccer player, and if a soccer player don't work out, I want to be a missionary. If a missionary don't work out, I want to be in the army.
I like football
You like football?
and soccer and baseball and basketball.
Every child has certain rights, and one of the rights of any child is to grow up in a stable, loving, caring environment. That's why the Heart Gallery is such a wonderful innovation, because with the advent of technology, with the wonderful spirit of professionals and artists who are willing to contribute to helping children, we can make a difference with this wonderful project.
Adoption for some families is a very daunting idea. So if they can see pictures of the child and get to know a little bit about the child before they even meet the child, it helps to dispel some of the myths and some of the fears that they may be experiencing. So the Heart Gallery is a catalyst for that, and it's been very helpful throughout the years.
The Heart Gallery is a unique collaboration of dozens of volunteers, from stylists to makeup artists to award-winning photographers, all with a single goal: finding permanent families for kids in need.
Today was a great day. The reality is, whenever I'm shooting for the Miami Art Gallery, it's always a great day, no matter, the kids. So it's just, what you're doing, it means a lot.
They come in a little bit frightened, and by the time they see their transformation with their makeup and their hair, then you start to see they get comfortable with you, and then it brings out a smile.
They are no different than my own children or any neighbors of mine. They just need some security and permanent love.
The Children's Trust Miami Heart Gallery is an online collection featuring dozens of children looking for a place to call home.
The Heart Gallery is the most magnificent tool to give these children the kind of exposure that they need, so that people who have no idea that they're out there see them for the first time, people who are considering adoption, and get an opportunity to really fall in love with these children.
Visitors to MiamiHeartGallery.org will find photos, stories, and videos of children whose only dream is to become part of a real family.
And what kind of mom and dad are you looking for? What do you want from them?
Peace, quiet, and love.
I want them to have both of us, not only one.
But as long as they take both of us, as long as they're loving and caring, that's what really matters.
I would say thanks for adopting me. I hope I can meet you soon, and I'll be so nice to you, I promise.
I know that there's somebody out there one day that will love me for who I am.
I love my family, and they're all so unique. My adult children will tease all the time, "You never spoiled us that way."
When I'm gone, Emmanuel keep her busy, and when she gone, Emmanuel keep me busy. So that's what it brings. It brings joy into the house. Because without kids in your house, you don't get that extra running around and looking for things and where is that? I don't know.
I don't see the difference in my children in many ways. I don't look at skin color. I don't look at, sometimes when I see their feet, they're all so different. I look at their toes and I'm like, wow, these are genetically some very different kids. And that's what makes us so awesome, is our difference.
I always liken our home to be a Shakespearean play with some Cirque du Soleil and a little WWF thrown in just for good measure.
Just try to help one child. Open your heart and open your home to help one child in need. It is the most rewarding experience that they'll ever witness.
It takes less time than everybody thinks to help a child. The amount of time it takes to be a friend, to be a mentor, to be somebody that the child knows is there in their life doesn't take that much. It's a huge responsibility for what it means to a child, but it's not a huge responsibility to the amount of time that it really takes away from your life. It adds to your life.
There's so many aspects that anyone who wants to help out children can do it, whether it's being a guardian and having that kind of commitment, being an educational tutor, providing rides. Sometimes we can't get kids to rides to visit their parents. The need is vast. All you have to do is ask. I promise you, they'll find a spot.
You make one phone call, and from that phone call, we get all of the pertinent information that's needed. From that, we put you into a class. Part of the classes are online. Some of the classes are face-to-face. And at the end of that process, we finish your paperwork and you become a foster parent.
I found Mary through the gallery, which ironically she wasn't supposed to be on it anymore, but I believe there are no accidents. And that's how I found Mary. And something with her photo and what she said resonated with me.
I wish there was a way to bottle it up so people could experience how wonderful it is and how amazing it is to be able to change the life of a child.
There are 4,500 children living in foster care in Miami-Dade and Monroe. The people you have heard from today, the activists, mentors, foster parents, and adoptive parents, cannot solve this problem on their own. They and the children who languish in the system need your help. Please make room in your heart and your home. To find out more about how you can help, call our kids at 855-786-KIDS or visit fosteringourkids.org and miamiheartgallery.org.